What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune in and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about this guy, OG, man, how he playing. In my opinion, so far in this series, it's between OG and Carl Anthony Towns, who is the MVP of this series, right? Now, and I think OG is kind of edging him out, because not that Carl Anthony Towns is doing it at both ends. OG is doing it at both ends, and so it's tough. But I would give it to OG, even if he didn't hit that shot, man. Like the defense that he's playing, he's hitting threes, and he's keeping them in the game. He's not only is he keeping them in the game, but he also a big part of why they're able to come back too. So yeah, man, this guy OG is, in my opinion, right now, he's the MVP. Like if the Knicks was to win this, he'd definitely be the MVP of this series. So now this topic came up on the Running Back podcast, right? And they made some interesting comments about it. And so what I want to do is I want to listen to the audio from Running Back, and then I want to come back and give my input.
Game winner felt to me and probably all the other Spurs fans just as much of a stab to the heart as far as crazy ways to lose a game or win a game, depending on your perspective. Lou, do you remember a crazier one? Can we think of a crazier one than this or Ray Allen?
It's gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna go on a wall with the Ray Allen shot. That's one of the more memorable ones that I can think of. Simply because of the fact that they actually had the rope out, they had the fans back, they were in full celebration mode for the Spurs at that point. Ugh. So this game being down 29, quick shot. I kind of cringed when Jalen Brunson shot this one because I was like, ooh, I don't know if that was the attempt that I wanted for the game. But this was huge for OG not to quit on the play. Both teams gave up.
Now, let me say this. The Ray Allen shot, when he hit that shot for he's with the Heat, he hit that shot, that three in the corner, right? That was big. But also, I want to go back to Sean Elliott. Sean Elliott, for the Spurs, when he's with the Spurs, he shot a three-pointer from the side, right? I think it was on the right side. And they thought that Sean Elliott was standing out of bounds, but when they did the close up, his feet was up off the ground, and so you could see like the out of bounds line under his foot because he was not standing out of bounds. So that shot that Sean Elliott took was big time too.
Big offensive rebounds at the end of this game to sway it one way or another. But this is going to go down in history as one of the bigger tip-ins in NBA Finals history. I think what De'Aaron Fox did is also going to go on the wall.
Now, before they go into the De'Aaron Fox, when I was checking in on this game from time to time, and then I seen how it started out, and then in the third quarter I seen how they were down. I had stopped watching the game. Then somebody had came to me and told me that the Knicks came back and won, because the last time I saw the Knicks was down, I think 27 points. And I couldn't believe, man, I had to go back and watch the game. I couldn't believe that they came back and in the fourth quarter and won that game.
Of bonehead plays that's happened in NBA Finals history as well. You can't really put a measuring stick on that. But that was huge for OG. The second half that he had behind the three-point line and to be able to win a game from just an effort play, that tells you everything you need to know about his identity, what he brings to the table for the Knicks. He's just steady. He's been a steady guy. We've had conversations about Brunson. We've had conversations about Cat. It's time to talk about OG Anunoby and him being this Finals MVP conversation.
Yeah, I think he definitely in the conversation. And let me say this about De'Aaron Fox, right? And I had said this on my live show that I do on Sunday mornings, right? That De'Aaron Fox is not a pure point guard. And I've been telling people, time and situations like point guards, they are aware of these type of situations. And I think had they had somebody like a Mike Conley, like Mike Conley would not have shot that ball like that. You know, he's a pure point guard. De'Aaron Fox is not a pure point guard. And you know, and this is what, when it comes down in stretch games, that's when you need like another coach out there on the court. Same thing with the situation with when Wembanyama had that ball and he threw it. You know, his teammate turned his head. Like a point guard would have went to Wembanyama and caught for the ball. You know, the outlet pass. He turned his back because Wembanyama, they're so used to Wemby bringing the ball up court. So he running down, he filling the lane, he running the court. Point guards come get the ball. They understand the time and the situation, and that's what's hurting. That is a big part of what's hurting the Spurs. They don't have a point guard and that leadership. They got a bunch of guys who can score, but like if you had Chris Paul, a pure point guard, Chris Paul is not going to shoot that ball in that situation going down there. You know, he understands that you don't need points. You need to run that clock out. Like the clock is your enemy. I mean, you know, the clock would have been the Spurs' friend at that time.
Especially after the game that he had last night, especially after the effort and the effort that he showed just to have the will of not wanting to lose a game when you get so close to it and not leaving without it. Huge kudos to him, man.
So you made a good point, Lou. If OG doesn't tip this in, we're probably sitting here dissecting what a horrible game-winning shot that is from Brunson right there and how he settled and how he didn't get to the rim. And I know it's easy to pile on De'Aaron Fox here this morning. Their defensive scheme was to put no one on the ball, which I thought was weird. Maybe put a big guy, put Wemby or put someone on the ball to maybe get a deflection or a steal. But then obviously they wanted to take the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands. So De'Aaron Fox comes to double team, and that lets OG just run to the basket free. So I know it looks like a miss.
Let me say this. Now, in that game, I did see Wemby tried to go out there a couple times. Jalen Brunson shot right over him and hit at least 3 threes in that game. So Brunson, you know, he created space and he get his shot off even against Wemby, right? So if you coaching and you putting Wemby out there to try to affect this shot when you have seen Brunson get a shot off against Wemby, I don't think that was a wise decision, especially with that kind of, he had time to get open, you know. And I don't like the shot, but I like the fact that he shot early enough in the clock where as though it give them the opportunity to get a rebound, you know. And so, yeah, man, I just think that coaching too is making a big difference in this series. I see Mike Brown doing things that are you know, that are really benefiting his team. Then I see the other guy, I don't know the coach for the Spurs, what his name is, but he's making some mistakes that you would expect from a rookie coach, and then Mike Brown is capitalizing on it.
Box out. It wasn't, and I know people are going nuts on De'Aaron Fox for a certain play. He was clearly told to come and double team Jalen Brunson and try and take the ball out of his hands. Jalen shot over the double team, which left a 4-on-3 on the back, and OG, credit to him, continued to play. So this, I mean, it's a fluke. This ball bounces anywhere else other than where it did. This series is tied 2-2, and again, I think we're kind of ridiculing Jalen Brunson for this shot attempt, but these are the plays that OG has been making all season, all playoffs, and again, to me, Jalen Brunson's still the Finals MVP. The dude put up what he put up last night, 36, 7, and 5, and he was a lot more efficient. I mean, he was 12 for 25 last night. He was a lot more efficient than you want. But OG's
coming, Chandler. OG's coming.
Yeah, that was the first time Jalen Brunson had, you know, like Jalen Brunson been playing solid, but that was his first really big game in this series.
That title.
I think he's got.
It's a serious conversation. It's a serious conversation.
I definitely think OG has definitely positioned himself to be considered, you know, for Finals MVP. I thought in the beginning, you know, Cat was kind of leading the way, setting the tone for this Knicks group, and things were flowing for him well, especially when they took the 2-0 lead. So early on, you kind of see Cat doing this thing, and it's like, oh, this is an easy decision. He's carrying the team. He's playing very well. Shooting percentages are really good. Numbers are good to back it up. Defense was on par. He was doing a great job against Wemby early on in the series. So I thought it was a pretty clear-cut decision as far as who was the best player for the Knicks at that moment. Obviously, you know, OG is taking this game to a whole nother level. Cat has kind of, you know, took his foot off the gas and regressed a bit, you know, later on in this series. But, you know, OG stepped up. He's kind of filled that void. And, you know, he's now kind of at the point of being that guy that's carrying this squad. Big shot after big shot, big play after big play. He's doing it on both ends of the floor. You know, we give a lot of credit to Wemby with how he, you know, controls the game on both sides of the floor. This is another guy, OG, who's also kind of doing the same thing, not at the same, you know, clip or rate or even at the same level of a Wemby, but he has a huge impact on both sides of the floor for this Knicks group. So,
and see, that's important. I thought that if anybody, not that you're going to shut Wemby down, but at least kind of offset Wemby a little bit, right? And Obi is doing that, you know, like they're leaning on Wemby at both ends of the court. Like he not being able to get the shots that he's used to getting on one end, and then they pushing him, you know, around at the defensive end. You know, Obi, I've seen him in this series blow by Wemby and dunk the ball at least 3 times. You know, so they're making Wemby work. Wemby not used to being out there all that, you know, for that amount of time that he's out there. And so a big part of it is because Obi is being physical with him on the offensive end. And then when Wemby come down, you know, on the defensive end, they're making them work. So I like this guy, Obi, so far in this MVP race. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.